Howdy ho, Heidi, whatever. Cookie Fairy Caroline and her 2 dogs Chase and Arrow. Here today in our kitchen to make my husband's favorite dish. He loves schnitzel. So I've come up with my own sort of version of pork schnitzel. And it is frankly fantastic. The guy that watches our dogs when we're on vacation actually watches them for very little money, so long as I make like 2 packages of schnitzel for him. He's got to have this or he won't watch the dogs. And the one time I didn't have time to make it, he was extremely disappointed. So the method we're going to use is the same method that you would use to fry anything, to batter and fry anything. So this works with chicken, this works with cube steak, this works with everything. So without further ado, we're going to show you what we're going to do. Alright. So for anything that you bread, you're going to need to set up a breading station. And that breading station is going to have 3 separate pans. This is going to be for dry, wet, other dry. You don't want to take something that's wet and go back to the dry. You just want to move it all the way down. So the first one is dry. So we are going to put a cup of flour, a hefty cup of flour in the first one. It's probably more like a cup and a half. And I usually end up throwing out a whole bunch of this, but... And then we're going to add about a half a cup. And we're going to add a half a cup of Montreal chicken seasoning. So half a cup of Montreal chicken seasoning to a cup and a half of flour. We are just going to use a whisk and get that incorporated. In the second one, we're going to use a trick that I saw with Paul the Dean's fried chicken. So we're going to put about a cup of half and half in the second one and 2 eggs. This is Paula's trick. We're going to put in a goodly amount of Tabasco. Probably a shocking amount because it doesn't get as hot as you think it does. So we're going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 squirts of Tabasco. Using the whisk, make sure that's all incorporated. Our third pan is going to have panko. The third pan is going to have panko crumbs. And we're going to put about 3 cups of panko crumbs in there to start. These are not as inexpensive as flour, so I want to add to this. I don't want to throw too much of that out. That's a breading station, and we're ready to bread. I buy this stuff, which is pork cut for scallopini. If your butcher doesn't have this, you can just get a loin of pork or a pork roast made out of a loin and slice it thinly into about 1/4 inch slices, or ask your butcher to do that. Flour. Egg wash. Take that same wet hand, put it in the dry, using your dry hand, spread the crumbs all over it. And I really press the crumbs in. So the reason that you want to make sure that you're only using one hand for wet and one hand for the breading is because eventually your wet hand will have clumpies and will be disgusting. And you can do this hours ahead of time. In fact, that's what I'm doing. It's only about 3 in the afternoon and we're not going to eat probably until 6. But you can just bread these and put them in the refrigerator. So again, clumpy wet hands. See all the loveliness on my fingers? So you get it all wet. Throw it in the breadcrumbs. And then I flick breadcrumbs on top so that I have something dry to pick up and continue to press it back into the breadcrumbs. All right, we're done. When we're ready to cook that, we're going to fry it in 350 degrees of oil. And we will show you that when we get there. See you later. So we're back. We're back. And it's time to fry the schnitzel. So what I have, here, let me grab the camera. What I have is a ridiculously old electric frying pan. It is a Farberware perfect heat control that I got, I don't know, 20 years ago at a garage sale for like $2. I have 2 of them. I found them both at garage sales. They're awesome. This is the way to fry things. So we're just going to put a healthy amount of Crisco in there and melt it up to about 1 inch deep. It is so hot. The Crisco has a puddle of melted Crisco in the middle. Okay, so the Crisco is at temperature. I can tell because the light has gone off, and that will continue to cycle on and off as it keeps itself perfect at 350. And we're just going to lay the schnitzel in the hot oil. This takes about 2 pieces at a time, 3 to 4 minutes aside, just until they're golden. Okay, so it's been in 3 or 4 minutes. And we're just going to turn it over. See the nice golden? That's what we want. And we're just going to do this until this side is golden. Probably another 3 minutes. Then we're going to transfer it to a plate that has paper towel on it. And put it in an oven that's not turned on, or just turned on to extreme low to keep it warm while the rest of them cook. I'll see you when they're done. First one always takes the longest. There it is, golden brown on the second side. Perfect. Take these out, add the next batch in. Always lay it down slowly in the oil. You never want to drop things. If you can, do it away from you so that the oil doesn't come back and hit you in the face. Ooh, hot. Husband's birthday dinner. Happy birthday, husband.
Does she always talk to you guys this loud, or is it just something special tonight? Anyway, my favorite stuff. This is what I asked for, and my wife, Miss Wonderful, was kind enough to make all this, even though she thinks it's too hot and this is a little heavy. But one of the perks of having it be your birthday in this pack.
It's delicious, he says. So, for mine, Usually you'd put a slice of lemon and squirt some lemon over it, but I don't have lemon, I just have lime. Ah, and apparently I can't tape and squeeze at the same time. So a little squeezle. And then, see how nice and crunchy that is? It's going to be delicious. Hot and hot. Very hot. Goodbye.